Hi there, namaste, and welcome back to another spiritualistic pick a card reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from your inner child. So please take a deep breath, drawing the energy up your spine to create a clear and open channel. And as you exhale, allow yourself to come into clear knowing which group or groups has your message in it for you today. We have group number 1 on the left with unconditional love, group number 2 in the center with self-love, and group number 3 on the right with astrological transits. As always, the timestamps to your readings are listed below in the description box, as well as the information if you're interested in personal readings with me. They are 10% off the rest of June 2024. And if you're interested in, for example, my new mini oracle that just came out this week, or my Follow Your Heart, as well as my light codes, any other tarot or oracle decks that I have made, journals, books, crystals, etc. I'm so grateful that you are here with me today. I'm sending you all my love, light, and gratitude, and I will see you at your reading. Namaste. Hi there, group 1. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from your inner child, and you selected the first group with the unconditional love card. Now, the first message that I'm receiving from your inner child, group 1, is a thank you. Thank you for letting me play. Thank you for letting me lead. Thank you for letting me give myself love, guided and misguided love, in the ways that your inner child thought that they wanted. And also thank you for loving them while they are sorting things out on their own. Thank you for being there for them, for supporting them, for keeping them safe, keeping them nurtured, keeping them loved, keeping them comfortable while they are navigating some areas of life that, like, on their terms, while they're navigating life on their terms. They want to say thank you for letting them have a say in the choices that you make in general, and even in the areas where you might feel as though you know a little bit better. Your higher self is coming through before we continue on with the messages here to let you know that right now is a really important and pivotal time in your life, group number 1. It's a really, really pivotal point in your life, whether you recognize it or not. Therefore, it's kind of important that your inner child, I'm hearing, got some things out of their system. If you, for example, get more responsibility on your plate, while your inner child still feels as though it never got to play. If, for example, you end up needing to put on a shoe size bigger in the adult world, and your inner child still feels a little bit like they had to grow up too fast, rather than an unhealed part of you coming through and sabotaging beautiful opportunities for you, or you passing up on opportunities because you feel like it's not fair for you to always be the one taking responsibility. Rather, you were given an opportunity to let your inner child lead the way, to let your inner child navigate through your life a little bit and see the choices that they would make. Good, bad, ugly, supported, unsupported, crazy, funny, silly, goofy, healthy, unhealthy. And get it out of their system a little bit. Now your inner child is saying thank you, and your higher self is saying, yes, this is a really pivotal point in your life. And it is you who has the reins here, not your inner child. It is you and your higher self in tandem. But you being able to give your inner child this unconditional love is the thing that has been able to support you in staying healthy in every situation and every area of your life. You've been doing a lot better of a job than you've been giving yourself credit for. You've been a lot healthier than you've been giving yourself happy for. There just seems to be some moments that you've spent with your inner child, I'm getting group 1 that you're more than well aware of, that are ways that you are giving yourself unconditional love. Sometimes unconditional love looks like giving ourselves forgiveness. Forgiving ourselves. For example, if you have a conversation with your inner child and they don't understand why you had to make such a hard choice, forgiving yourself because you were doing it in order to keep yourself happy and healthy, because you're the adult version of you that is the nurturer and the protector of your inner child. With that being said, as the person who is responsible for your inner child today, group number 1, you have made the healthy choice. Sometimes when you take care of a child or a pet, Sometimes the healthiest thing is to let them roam free. It's to let them run amok. It is to let them wander and explore. And other times, it is to make sure that they are following specific structures so that they can learn. For example, learning about plants and animals and insects in your first biology class when you are really, really young. Learning the structure, learning the system, understanding things intellectually so that you can grow into a responsible adult, a well-informed and educated adult. However, it is also important to run around, not just in a structured gym class, but where you get to run around and explore, and then you find that caterpillar that you learned about in class. You chase those butterflies around that you knew existed, but now you appreciate the fun facts about them. You understand their beauty a little bit more. And so there's this energy of the intellectual learning and the responsibility, and also the freedom and the almost lack of responsibility that is perfectly balanced within you. Now, in a spiritual sense, you are a co-creator of your reality. It is not all just you, and it is not all just the universe or a god or the higher power, whatever you believe in. However, these two things do run in tandem. While this is not to encourage lack of responsibility in your life at all whatsoever, because I would never ever condone that, especially not on purpose, there is a message coming through from your inner child saying, "Thank you for letting me lead." Similar to when you try to manifest something from the universe and you get exactly what it is that you ask for. Now, this usually, at least half of the time, if you know how manifestation works, is not actually how manifestation works. We ask for what it is that we want, and it is up to our higher self, our energy, the universe, and the way that everything is going in order to manifest either what we ask, something healthier for us, something better for us, something more aligned with us, or sometimes our manifestation doesn't come through because we don't always want what we think that we want, and the universe knows us better than ourselves. For example, if your inner child wants to touch a hot stove and they just want to do it so bad, you're going to do everything that you can to protect them from doing this. Now, that's not to say that you don't have free will. That's not to say your inner child won't sometimes be like, well, that's what I want, and put their hand on the stove, right? But your inner child is saying, just as you would to the universe when you get exactly what you ordered from the universe, thank you for letting me lead. Thank you for giving me what I wanted, because it wasn't necessarily touching a hot stove, but it might have been running around quite a bit, exhausting yourself, maybe getting a little sunburned, or getting your favorite pair of jeans dirty, or spending a little more money than you're comfortable with, or something along these lines. Now, this is not to condone, again, irresponsible behavior, but it is to say that you having unconditional love and holding space for your inner child to lead the way is something that was necessary for you to have a healthier relationship with them, and for them to feel ready and settled for you to have this next big chapter in your life. Again, group number 1, there's an energy coming through about big changes on the horizon for you. And in some ways, this is going to be something that maybe takes your adult life from one chapter to another chapter. And it might include more responsibility. It might include more of an adult perspective on life. It might include more responsibility. It will be different for all of you. But your inner child wants to let things out too. It doesn't want to be suppressed and explode like a boiling pot with the lid on it. It doesn't want to boil over. And so you've been doing a wonderful job at not allowing this to happen, at rather letting yourself play in the water. And when it gets too hot, for your comfort, you get out, as your inner child would. Even though as an adult you understand, yeah, well, the heat's on this water, eventually it will come to a boil, but your inner child wants to play in it. So with these healthy boundaries that you have with your inner child, and letting yourself trust yourself and your inner child enough to take the lead and listen to their own body, listen to their own emotions, understand from their perspective why you've made some of the choices that you've made. your inner child is saying, thank you for the unconditional love. Unconditional love. Thank you for protecting me when I didn't know better. Thank you for nurturing me when I didn't have nourishment. Thank you for taking care of me in the ways I didn't know I needed to be taken care of. And thank you for making the hard decisions to set me free. So let's get into your tarot. And let's see. Channel messages to group number 1, please, from their inner child. Messages from group number 1's inner child. Ooh, something came out here. What is this? 5 of Swords. Okay. We have the 4 of Cups, King of Cups, 9 of Swords, the World, 9 of Pentacles, 5 of Swords. Thank you for taking the time to set your intentions. If you don't set specific intentions and you kind of just keep going through the motions, then you end up getting nowhere, or things end up getting very clustered, or both. I'm hearing the phrase, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. Okay? Now, your inner child is saying that you are a very loving person and you still deserve better than what you've been settling for. And you might be stressed out because of a situation that your inner child led you to, and your intuition and your inner child and even your responsible mind was telling you to let yourself step into situations that your inner child is leading you into, but they might have gotten you into a little bit of a tizzy. For example, now you don't have your favorite pair of jeans, they're all dirty. For example, now you have a burn on your hand, and because your inner child touched a hot stove. Now, for example, you have a little less money and you're stressed because your inner child was having you spend a little bit. Okay, I'm not getting that there's anything super self-destructive going on here, but we're seeing a little bit of stress, right? We're seeing a little bit of you perhaps needing to regulate your nervous system again, you perhaps needing to sleep a little bit extra. We're seeing perhaps you needing to just kind of reset your priorities. I'm getting back to where they were perfect, but back to where they were, okay? Now, your inner child wants to tell you yes, thank you, and that they're done wreaking havoc in your life for now. They don't want to throw anything off for you, and they also want you to know that the enjoyment of the moment is just as important as investment towards the future. They've learned a lot from you along your journey, and they still think that there's some things that you can learn from them as well. You may feel as though the universe has been dangling a manifestation of yours, or perhaps even a vision, like before your eyes. They're showing me like dangling a carrot, you're trying to get the carrot, you're running, but you're running on a treadmill kind of thing. The reason that this is being shown here is this might be something that you want, something that you manifested, but for a lot of you, this is something that you feel you've been promised from the universe. It's not something that you asked for, it's something you've been shown. And it's something that you've been shown that if you, for example, make these sacrifices, you listen to your intuition, and you continue to work, you continue to show up in sustainable, reliable, consistent ways, then this is what is meant for you. A little less, this is what you want, and a little more, this is what has been shown to you, as this is what is meant for you. However, something that you never asked for in the first place has been kind of dangling itself like a carrot in front of you. Now, I'm hearing, would it be nice to achieve this goal? Would it be nice to have this come in? Would it be nice for this to be what's meant for you? Yes. However, you're being guided towards something that you didn't ask for in the first place. Now, your inner child wants to come through and let you know that they miss daydreaming. They miss laying on their back and looking up at the clouds. They miss looking up at the stars and seeing fireworks in the sky. And this is also part of the reason why you know and they know that this part of your life is cracking open. And so they kind of wanted to get something out of their system really quickly. They want you to know that this is healthier than you think. It's less of a big deal than you think. And they want you to know that you already are in the time, in the place, in the vibration, in the chapter, in the year, in the month of your life where this grand experience, if you will, is occurring for you. your inner child sees that you've been a little bit stressed when it comes to their perspective of the world versus your perspective of the world. For example, you might be a little bit friendly and they might be a little bit scared. You might be a little bit stressed. You might be a little bit type A. They might be a little bit whimsical and type B. You might be a little bit no BS and they might be, well, I want to F around and find out. And they don't want to bring you stress, but they do want to bring you alchemization. They do want you to feel like you are able to express yourself in a way that fully integrates the part of you that you feel never got to play like everyone else. The part of you that you feel never got to be maybe nourished or protected or taken care of like everyone else. The parts of you that you feel you watched everybody else experience, maybe in your childhood, maybe today, that for some reason it's your birthright. For example, it is literally your birthright to have parental figures in your life, but it might not have been something that you had. It might be your birthright, for example, to get to celebrate your birthday, but it might not be something you ever had. It might be your birthright, for example, to work and make money, but for some reason the company that you're working at, they keep paying you late. They can't afford to pay you. So now you're having a hard time because someone else is doing that to you, but that boss is across the world on vacation. Things like this. Things that are your birthright being held back from you. And so your inner child is saying that you've been working so hard. You've been staying such a beautiful person. And they want you to learn from them how not only to lead from your heart, but to find the simplicity in the things around you. Find the simplest answer. There are many nuances and complications and extenuating circumstances in this life. And your inner child is saying that you deserve for things to be easier. When it comes to your own perspective, is it easier to stay or is it easier to walk away? Is it easier to be stressed out or is it easier to remove yourself from the situation? Your inner child looks up to somebody that you once knew. I'm getting that this is someone that either is no longer in your life, or they're passed on, or both, or one or the other. There's someone that they looked up to that for some reason someone around you didn't want them to look up to, but I'm getting that's not that big of a deal. But I'm getting that there's someone that your inner child used to look up to. And you didn't know why or how to be like them. You just knew that you kind of wanted to. Your inner child feels like they are channeling their inner this person when they are helping you navigate through life. And so while some of these things that you felt them want or desire or want to get out of their system, it might be them trying to play adult, but not in your shoes, in the shoes of an old role model of yours. Now, there might be a little bit of a difference in perspective or routine, or maybe a small one in values or sense of self. But there are some things that lit you up that it seems you either forgot about or you didn't know how to incorporate into your life today. Now, going back to what it is that you've been shown, this is something that your inner child manifested for you a very long time ago. Something that you feel you never asked for and it's been meant for you and you've been working towards it. Your inner child is sharing with you today that maybe subconsciously, or maybe when you were very, very small, you asked for this. You manifested this for yourself. You were on the right track. And there's a little bit of a fear coming through about something being too good to be true, something being too elusive, something being sneaky. But I'm getting to tell you to protect your feet and ankles and wrists and hands for some reason. I'm getting to tell you that your inner child wants you to be free. They want to build your future together with you. And that they were kind of scribbling on a piece of paper before they turn the page and start coloring inside the lines. And they want you to know that this is an opportunity where you can turn the page and continue to let them lead, because they won't scribble anymore. Now they want to color in the lines. But when they want to scribble, they'll scribble. When they want to color in the lines, they will. When they want to color outside the lines, they'll do that too. And as long as you are allowing them to, as long as you are flipping the page for them, or you are trusting them to keep coloring, then they will continue to express more and more healthy. They will continue to grow and progress more and more healthily. And your inner child wants you to know that they love you so very much. They're so grateful for you. They're really sorry for some of the things that you had to go through, or that they, this version of your inner child, it seems like there's something that hasn't occurred yet, that the version of you that you are today listening to this has gone through. That the version of your inner child coming through today, like they gained perspective or clarity on it. There seems to be some sort of difficulty or heartbreak that's like in between this inner child and you. And they want you to know that they're sorry that you go through this, and they want to ask you to keep holding their hand while they go through it. A little bit of timeline work, a little bit of closing your eyes and giving your inner child a hug, telling them it's going to be okay. You are your own angel, whether it's your inner child to you or you back to them. And your higher self is coming through to say to both of you right now, group number 1, that you both guide each other. And when you feel one of you taking the lead a little bit more, always allow it. Let them. Because the way that you function normally in this life is beautiful and it's perfect and it's not meant to change. Continue to have unconditional love for yourself and others. Continue to have unconditional forgiveness for yourself and others. And no matter what, keep leading with your heart. You seem to be at a place where I'm hearing, should I stay? Should I go? Whether you do or not, I'm hearing to tell you your inner child is afraid, and it doesn't matter as much as you're thinking about whether or not your vision comes to fruition. Now, your inner child led you here, but you have to take the leap. This is where you might be encouraging yourself to just focus on yourself and say, okay, inner child's done. Chop, chop, snip, snip. Your higher self wants you to know that you're stressing yourself out more than you need. Pay attention to foxes and phoenixes as positive signs, as well as roses. And I'm getting to tell you, for some reason, no roses have been painted red. Now, for some closing messages from your inner child to you about advice, or what they would want to tell you, if they can leave you with some advice here, we're going to use my mini oracle here, and we're going to see what advice does your inner child have for you, group number 1. Advice from group number 1's inner child, ascending. Okay, keep focusing on your spirituality, my loves. There's something here where they love to see the way that you shine, the way that you glow, the way that you feel inside and outside when you are meditating, when you are praying, when you are focusing on your spirituality. Okay, so they want to encourage you to keep that up. We have last puzzle piece and gratitude practice, meaning whatever. Okay. The last puzzle piece here is going to be your gratitude practice. Now, they want you to know that you feel as though something either needs to change really drastically or something needs to be removed. And your inner child is saying, you're right. There is one last puzzle piece here. And it's actually going to be alchemized or transmuted by gratitude. So wherever your gratitude practice is, kick it up a notch, just a small one. Your inner child would like to encourage you to trust them as much as you trust yourself, as much as you trust your higher self. And they also would like to, again, reaffirm this gratitude practice, meaning if you wake up every day and you just have a grateful vibe, try to think to yourself 10 things you're grateful for. If you already do this, try taking out a journal and writing these things down in a journal. If you're already doing this, try to add 2 or 3 more things. So on and so forth. Wherever you're at in your gratitude practice, kick it up a notch. This will be something that helps you to trust your inner child more. And it's also going to be something, I'm hearing that gets the rust off. Okay, we have ascending here and trust. Make sure not to fall off your spiritual practice. And again, to ascend your gratitude practice just an inch. But finally, they want to leave you with this thing in your life that you feel as though it either needs to make a 180 change or you need to release it. This kind of ultimatum energy around you, within you. They want to let you know that if you find the ways that the situation is actually serving you, not taking from you, then the situation will align to match that energy. When you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And this is not to make light of a situation. It is to let you know that you might be subconsciously manifesting something occurring in a painful way, when you can consciously manifest it to show up in a way that honors and serves you and meets and succeeds your highest personal standards. This is the last puzzle piece. It is the energy you bring to the table, which is why, with this situation in your life, or without it, as you have free will, do not fall off your gratitude practice. Do not fall off your spiritual practice. Trust your inner child. And know that you have a loved one around you, the higher self of an old role model or a passed on loved one of yours, that is also guiding you really gently, maybe a little bit of a distance, but they want you to look up at the sky again and get lost in the clouds. Or bring out your magnifying glass to look at all the micro creatures in a garden. They want you to explore again because there's still so much for you to uncover, to discover. Group number 1, that is your channeled message from your inner child. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. And as always, I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. I love you so very much. It would help me a ton if you liked this video, commented down below, and also subscribe to my YouTube channel. It helps me a lot, and it also helps other people find the messages that align with them when they're meant to see them. If you're interested in connecting further on social media, you can find me on TikTok as well as Instagram under the same username. And as always, I'm so grateful that you're here. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 2. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today, I am channeling a message to you from your inner child, and you selected the second group with the self-love card. Connecting with this energy, I'm hearing, why don't we blank anymore? Why don't we, I'm hearing that song, We Don't Talk Anymore. I think it's Charlie Puth. Why don't we do something anymore? Your inner child is aware that you love them very, very much and that you always want the best for them. But there seems to be maybe a hobby that fell off. Maybe a dream or aspiration that fell off. Maybe a person that fell off. There seems to be this energy here of them wanting to grow and evolve and ascend into you. Your inner child here, group number 2, thinks that you are a really cool person. They think you're awesome, and they want to let you know this. But they are curious. What happened to blank? Insert thing, insert person, insert hobby. What happened to it? They kind of want to bring a little bit of a lighthearted energy here. They're saying that if you are afraid that it will throw something out of whack, I'm hearing them say, don't worry, I got it. No, the amount that you trust that message is going to be different for all of you, but that's the message that wants to come through for you. Your inner child loves how much you love yourself. They love how much you are a ray of light, just a light in the world of yourself and so many others as well. Alternatively, they love your maybe spiritual side, your spiritual self. I'm hearing this song from Godspell. Like, it goes, "You are the light of the world." And it's saying, like, your inner child is saying that they love your light. Wherever you get it from, wherever you anchor it into, the version of you that you are, they think you are amazing. They think you are beautiful. You are a light. You have access to light, and they love this about you. Your inner child wants you to know that you deserve more time to play and have fun, and that there's a little reminder coming through that everything in your life doesn't have to be productive. Everything in your life does not have to be, I'm hearing can't go over it, can't go under it, gotta go through it. And they're kind of alluding to play. And they're also showing me Dora the Explorer for some reason. There's a little bit of an energy of self-reflectiveness that they idolize about you. Your ability to self-reflect, your ability to give yourself love. They love the way you take care of yourself. They love the way you treat yourself. They love your boundaries. They love the way that you've grown up. There's also a message coming through that they love the body that you have. Like, your inner child is saying something about you having your adult body now, and they love it. They're so excited. So if you've been dealing with any sort of issues relating to like self-love, mind, body, spirit, or anything, your inner child is like, they think you are killing the game. They think you are awesome. So that wanted to come through as well. Now, they are asking, what happened to blank? There's something here that seems to be black or white. Maybe if it's not productive, we don't do it. Or maybe if it doesn't fit in our schedule and it's not on our priority list, then we don't do it. Or maybe it's been so long, so we don't do anything anymore. Or you had a particular experience that made you say no to something forever. They want to know what happened to blank. And how can we evolve this energy so that it works for you and them and everybody involved? Now, the reason that this is coming through is because there seems to be something that you love, or you did love, or you try to tell yourself you don't love, or you love it, but maybe you love it and that's good enough for you, right? Love something from a distance, love a hobby from a distance, love a person from a distance, love whatever. And you don't have to change who you are, what you're doing, how your life looks, but there is this energy of how can we evolve the situation to the next level. Now, the dynamic of your inner child coming through here a little bit differently than the dynamic of group one is that this inner child of yours has watched you grow up. It's almost like they have seen the things that have occurred for you in your life. This seems to be your inner child as it is currently integrated into you now, today, which is beautiful. And they kind of want to draw attention to something where your self-love game is unmatched. The way that you love yourself, the way that you treat yourself, the way that you make things happen for yourself, it's absolutely insane. You might be noticing that you are ahead of maybe the people in your field, other people your age, people in your environment, people in your neighborhood, your friend group. You might be the successful one of your family. You might be the spiritually evolved one of your friend group. You might be the odd one out, but in a good way, in a progressed way. And your inner child also wants to draw attention and awareness to times where you needed help, where it was a literal requirement for you and you did not get it. And maybe you got kicked when you were down. They want to draw attention to times where you couldn't do something on your own, or you were expected to do something on your own that was literally impossible, yet you made dang sure that it happened. Your inner child is saying that you succeeded against all odds because you love yourself. And because of your spiritual practice, because of your ability to access the light. For some of you, this is positivity. For some of you, this is knowing how to pick yourself back up. For others of you, it's your spiritual practice. For some of you, it's prayer or meditation. For others of you, it's just removing yourself from toxic people. We know misery loves company, and that can be a really unhealthy vortex. It's like a parasite that just continues to expand and spread like a virus. Now, this is not to say that you haven't experienced negative things, because we see here you've experienced good and bad. We see here that you just love yourself. You know that you deserve better than the bad things around you, because you know you don't want to be like the people that treated you like that. You also know that your life is between you and God, you and yourself, you and the universe, whatever it is that you vibe with. But at the end of the day, you know that you never have been like that, you never will be like that. There's not a bone in your body that is like that. And so your inner child wants to remind you that your ability to see yourself as worthy of love has been able to navigate you out of some really negative situations and into some really positive ones. And because of this, you continue to exceed. Your inner child is very proud of you and they love you very much. And they want to see if you dare to push the envelope just a little bit by, again, well, what happened to blank? Okay, for some of you, I'm really getting that this is a hobby of yours or like a dream of yours that you've had. And they're not saying that you have to self-reflect and reorganize your entire life, but they are saying that you deserve to live the life that you want to live, not just the version of life that sustains all that you've had to figure out and work through alone. For example, say you don't have the support that everyone else gets. Say you really, really needed something. You really, really needed help and it wasn't provided for you. Now, your ability to find light and know that you're worthy of love in all forms has been something that's made you successful. Mentally, emotionally, spiritually, physically, financially, you name it. Now your inner child wants to come through and say, now what about that passion project? Or what about the fun? What about the play? Your inner child is ready to say, now from an adult place, your inner child is feeling like they are healed, they are integrated, they are ready to go. They just want to know now, what do you plan to do about this one thing? And it might not be something that you really think about a lot. It might be something that you say, well, I got to experience it before and that's beautiful, and life moves on and I move on, and you're healthy and happy and loving yourself about where you are today. But just because you are the only one, they're showing me in the movie Mamma Mia with Meryl Streep, how she bought this hotel all by herself and she is maintaining the hotel all by herself. She has to fix everything. She's always running around. She's always having exactly just enough that she needs and exactly enough time to always be running around, fixing everything, taking care of everything, when in reality, to run a hotel, there are at least 10 to 15 jobs involved. And there's one person doing it all themselves. And so your inner child wants to say, now, you still might not have the help and support that is required of you, but you figured it out. But if you figured that out, you can figure out how to fulfill yourself a little bit more, not just by filling up your own cup and then going about all your responsibilities, but by making filling your own cup one of your responsibilities. Meaning not just to meditate and then go about your routine, but to meditate and go about your routine and add in your routine something that genuinely fills up your cup. Not just meditation, but something like that hobby that you had to let go. Something like that place that you love and you had to move away from because of finances or because you weren't being emotionally supported there or something like this. Now, there's a little bit of magic that wants to find its way into your reading, and I'm getting to tell you, don't pick up the craft. Now is not an appropriate time for you to be doing this in your life, in this energy, and your inner child knows this, your responsible adult knows this. We don't manipulate things to work in our favor because that creates karma, and your inner child is tired. They are tired of being responsible all of the time. They feel happy and healthy and healed, but they also feel like at the end of a long work week, when you maybe picked up an extra shift or two and you're exhausted, your friends want to go out to play, and you've just been dreaming about your bed for like 3 days now, what it will be like not to set your alarm, even though you'll still probably wake up when your alarm rings anyway. Your inner child wants you to know, group number 2, that you don't have to put yourself last when it comes to fulfillment. This is not other people get to play and you don't. This is not other people get to have no responsibilities and you have to. This is not other people get to vacation but you have to work. This is not the way that life works. You love yourself more than enough to know that this is not actually the case. And so they don't want you to sink into this feeling or this false belief system because of the amount that you already love yourself, the amount you've already been able to pull yourself up, the amount that you've already been able to succeed, the amount that you're already able to shine. There's an energy here of, again, being maybe the successful one in your family, or the enlightened one in your friend group, or the successful one in your neighborhood. You have already significantly surpassed in evolution in at least one way those around you. And so there is this energy of, well, how come everyone else gets to just be happily unaware in the matrix, and I have to be the one that sees the toxicity? Or why does everyone else get to just work 3 days a week and then they make enough money to go on paid vacation, where you have to work 6 or 7 days a week? There's this energy here of, well, why does everyone else have support when you had to do everything alone? There's an energy like this, and it's not really a question your inner child is having pertaining to like throwing a fit, or it's not fair, or victim mentality. It's kind of just an energy of self-reflection. It's not really as much about the why as it is about the, okay, so moving forward, what can we do to fill up that part of our cup? Okay, your inner child is very, very, very mature. Not in like a parentified child way, although that may have been the case and you healed it. Not in a like trauma response way, although that may have been the case and you healed it. Your inner child is very much like integrated with you and a healthy part of your spirit team that you can look up to and trust to make decisions in your life. This is way different from group 1. So, messages from group number 2's inner child. Messages from the inner child of group number 2. What would you like to tell group number 2? You are working way too hard. You are putting way too much effort into sustaining something, into helping someone, into people-pleasing perhaps. Make the choice to dedicate yourself to yourself. That energy that you are giving to that project where you have to put in way more work than the other person, give that energy to yourself. That energy that you're giving to that relationship, that they're just such a nice person and it does them really well for you to be in their life, and all it does is take from you and make you exhausted. Give that energy to yourself. That overtime that you're working that just makes you exhausted and doesn't really help you that much financially, give that time to yourself. Make the choice to do this, okay? Your inner child wants you to know that when you release something, something better will be coming in its place. There's something that you've been considering releasing for a while because there's something here about, oh, I know how that story ends. I know how that goes. This might be something where you identified red flags in a particular situation, and or perhaps something was a good time, not a long time, and now the clock is ticking, or something like this, okay? Your inner child wants to tell you, group number 2, that you have a beautiful, beautiful energy. You're a beautiful, beautiful person. You have a beautiful, beautiful heart. And this might be something that you feel as though in order to, again, there's this energy of you being more successful or more evolved than the people around you or something like this. You deserve to be met at all of your levels, not just to find the best out of your options. Your inner child wants you to find that energy that you're looking to invest in something that you will have to settle for, or say, well, this works, I guess, this is good enough, or this is the best out of the options that I have. And they would actually like for you to redirect that towards what happened to blank, towards that hobby, towards that dream. Now, this might seem like a little left field. It might seem like you are turning, like making a hard left, right, in life. But they want to let you know that it's a wise investment of yourself, that you are worth this decision. Maybe you don't necessarily see where the path ahead will go here, but your inner child says that they do, and that you've seen it before too. You just maybe thought it was a dream or a past life or something like this, when in reality your inner child wants to let you know, no, that's a goal and aspiration of ours. We want to do this. Instead of settling for something that you already know is not as evolved as you, without trying to settle or without trying to fix it, simply take the energy that you are learning that you have available and redirect it accordingly. Your inner child is wanting to draw attention to something that has always called out to you, and you feel it's calling once more. And they want to let you know that it's safe for you to dive deeply here because there's a lot that this has to offer you in one way or another. There's actually a lot here that is meant to be transformed. And there is a reason why 2 or 3 particular energies are, I'm hearing, joined at the hip in your life or in your patterns or something as well. They're showing me a U-sized gate. It's not like a traditional door. It's not a rectangle or a square or an oval. Rather, it is like an outline of you. Only you can fit through it, but you might not initially see it as a door because it looks like energies conjoined together. It might look like a beautiful decoration or some nice entertainment or just something you energetically notice. Allow yourself to dive deeply. Allow yourself to explore what you find when you dive. And in the moment, you have an opportunity that you are picking up on to carry this energy that you feel called towards to the next level. I'm hearing by the vehicle of something that you are expecting to either commit to or settle for. This is something like maybe the people around you aren't as successful as you, so they don't have the same kinds of responsibilities as you. Maybe the people around you don't know what it's like to be emotionally mature because they've never had to go to therapy for their issues. They just have a toxic friend group. Maybe, and this isn't saying, right or wrong or judging or anything like this. This is saying maybe you're more successful or maybe you're more evolved or maybe you've done more work than what is around you. And we have this energy here that you are noticing is freed up, that is being pulled in one direction, and simultaneously you're being called in another. Your inner child wants you to know that that energy that is pulling at you can be a vehicle towards what it is that is actually calling you. Not because you're meant to actually turn, make a hard left in your life. Not because you're meant to figure everything out the hard way on your own. But because this is the universe offering you one thing disguised as something else. Your inner child can see right through this. And this is something that's been confusing you. Because when you look at what's being offered to you, it looks like something where you need to settle, or it looks like you're receiving the bare minimum, or it looks like it will hurt you. It looks like you've seen this before, you know exactly how it's going to go. But your inner child wants you to say, hey, I'm not going to judge a book by its cover. Maybe it's not the situation, but what the situation can lead me towards that is good. You are being called to love yourself enough to ask yourself, hey, what happened to blank? And to go even further down that rabbit hole. Because you deserve to be treated gently. You deserve to be treated kindly. And while kindness might be the bare minimum for you, you might also deserve to experience what it's like to have maybe some of that support that you didn't get when you had to do everything alone. There is this energy of your inner child here saying, sometimes we're able to pick up on something that will help us grow and love ourselves even more deeply. Not because you don't give yourself the love and that validation and that support, but because you deserve to let others try, even if they have to learn how to do it. This isn't to say to teach them. This isn't to say to leave the situation. This is to say that what you feel is calling you right now, and what you feel are pulling on your energy, are more intertwined and divinely orchestrated than you have come to realize at this point. This is coming from your inner child because this is something that your inner child is really passionate about. This is something you maybe used to spend a lot of time doing, a lot of time loving, a lot of time looking forward to. It was something very important to you. And I'm not getting that has changed, but maybe the cover of that book looks differently now. So maybe, just maybe, your inner child is saying, allow yourself to dive a little bit more deeply and see not only what happened to blank, but see how you can water your garden to make it a place where that particular plant can grow and thrive. Because you can plant anything you want in your garden. You can water anything that you want. So your inner child is saying, you are worth the commitment. Allow the things that come into your life to be supplementary. And that energy that you're noticing is being pulled on is so that you recognize that you have some energy to spare. But remember, just like you don't want to take, you don't want to be taken from. I'm not saying that this is where the situation is intending to lead you, but your inner child does want you to know that you deserve to not have to fight all your battles alone. You deserve to be scared and have someone get rid of the monster for you. You deserve to be needing help and receive that help. You deserve to, just as you do for others. You know how they say, I think it's in the Bible or something, when you clothe someone naked, you clothe me. When you feed someone hungry, you feed me. Me meaning God or the universe or however you see it, okay. But you deserve to be clothed when you're naked. You deserve to be fed when you're hungry. You deserve to be loved when you're sad. You deserve all of that energy, and you do. You give it to yourself. But that doesn't mean that it's a bad thing to let someone come along and try. So group number 2, I'm going to pull some advice from your inner child to you from my mini oracle, which is newly available on my Etsy shop. It just came out this week. So let's pull some advice, please, from the inner child of group number 2 to group number 2. Okay. Unseen factors. Okay, beautiful. Trust that there are things working in your favor that you're not seeing, and innocence. I'm hearing the song Innocent by Taylor Swift. Okay. Now this is a message coming through pertaining to a situation or a person in your life, okay? And I'm hearing specifically who you are is not what you did. You're still an innocent. There are unseen factors here relating to the effort that something or someone is putting in, or the way that something around you is going to change. Your inner child really, really, really wants you to dive deeply and try to find that door that only you can fit through. Because there's something about your purity, your innocence, that is going to make all of the difference here. Now, when it comes to advice, trust that there are things that are working in your favor. Continue to keep an open mind, open eyes, open ears, and open heart towards the situation with emotional awareness here. And look at this unconditional love. We have an energy coming through that is encouraging you to pay attention to your emotions, to how you feel, not just what you're afraid of, not just what you've had to do that others have had to do, not just it's not fair, but to pay attention to those good emotions too. When someone comes along and tries, and maybe they haven't needed to progress as fastly as you have, as quickly as you have. Maybe they haven't needed to learn how to fend for themselves or survive on their own or evolve spiritually or emotionally or in their security or something. Allow yourself to still feel the emotions, the positive emotions that come from the innocence and the purity of the intention here. Again, there is something that you are not seeing, not because you can't or you're neglecting to see it, but because it's being hidden from you intentionally. This is something that your inner child sees as very, very special, very, very precious. But for some reason, you might have a tendency to brush this off as something or someone that is simply less aware, simply hasn't had to go through it, simply doesn't understand what it means to XYZ. You don't have to teach them, but they're asking you gently, with unconditional love, to become aware of those emotions and to continue to keep your heart space pure. I'm hearing, when you get off your high horse, someone else will too. Your inner child wants you to know, group number 2, with love, that there are things in the situation that you're not seeing. What you are seeing, it's precise, but there are things that you're not seeing. So, your inner child wants to leave you today with the advice saying that it is okay for you to feel security when those around you don't. It is okay for you to connect with people and energies who have not needed to walk the same journey as you. They want to leave you with the advice to remember that what you feel is special versus what you think should be special is your choice. And they also want to remind you to respond instead of react. And not to forget to listen to that calling of yours, because it's going to open up a whole new world for you. Okay, group number 2, that is your channeled message from your inner child. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. And please like and comment on this video, as well as subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot, and it also helps those who are meant to find these messages find them when the timing is right. So thank you so very much for being here. I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. I'm sending you all my love, light, and gratitude, and I will see you next time. Namaste. Hi there, group 3. Namaste, and welcome to your reading. Today I'm channeling a message to you from your inner child, and you selected the 3rd group with the Astrological Transits card. I want to let you know, group number 3, that it is the end of June in California when I'm recording this, so if you hear a humming in the background, it is my fan because it is really hot in here. So, thank you for understanding. And tapping in with your energy here, your inner child is saying that there is something that you predicted or something that you saw coming a mile away that has recently made itself known or appeared in your life. Now, this might be something you predicted for yourself, or it can also be something that you predicted for somebody else. Now, I'm getting that this is something that you saw a mile away. Maybe it's something you predicted with the astrological transits, or maybe you are a tarot or oracle reader yourself. Maybe you're a spiritual or a psychic or something like this. It doesn't have to be the case necessarily, but I'm getting that there is something here that you predicted that your inner child is saying, I'm hearing get used to it. It's not too good to be true. Now, your inner child is coming through saying that they are really, really helping you connect with your heart space at this point in time. They want to encourage you to keep your heart open and to try, especially when it gets difficult, because I'm getting to tell you that there's something here that you might be worrying about cutting your losses. And your inner child wants you to know that while you might be thinking logically, you're being encouraged to take a bit more of a heart-centered approach, and don't forget about heart-mind coherence. Follow your heart first, and then cohere it with your mind. For this energy, not all of the time, this is what your inner child is saying to you today, group 3. You are being called to not let your past affect where you are today, and to allow yourself to be given to in a particular situation, allowing yourself to tap in with your feminine energy and your heart space, meaning your heart and the upper 3 chakras, and to open up to receiving. Your inner child is saying that they have a present for you, and that if you will be so bold as to accept it from them, then you will be very, very excited. And you might be surprised to see, I'm hearing, what kind of magical surprise your inner child can set you up with. Now, there may be something here that surprises you in interaction, meaning this might be explaining you or someone in your life or a particular situation where you seem to be the exception to a rule. Or there is an exception to a rule that you might be applying logically to your situation. For example, they're showing me a proof, okay, if X, then Y. Well, there might be an exception to this rule, and you will be either it or you will be seeing it. Your inner child wants to let you know that it's okay, you are safe, and they're showing me the book, actually the two books, Things Not Seen and Things Not Heard. Now, they're showing me a part specifically where there is a girl practicing her instrument in the basement, and the basement is soundproofed so that no one else can hear and she can practice without feeling self-conscious. However, the person that she lives with, her family member, is happy to have soundproofed the room so that she feels comfortable playing and messing up over and over and over again. But in reality, the family member loved listening to her play, so they soundproofed the room, but not all the way. They wanted to make sure that they could still hear, because it was the music and the authenticity and the passion and the love, that little exception to that rule of soundproofing the room, that made all of the difference here. So there's something like this where your authentic self, your inner child, the way that you shine, the way that you look when you're not thinking you're being seen, the way that you sing when you think no one's listening, the way that you dance when you think no one's watching, the way that you inherently are, is something that's coming to the forefront. I'm getting to tell you, group number 3, to check your profection year in astrology, meaning find which astrological house is the ruler of this year for you, regardless of when you're watching this, and see the planetary ruler of that house. This will be what you can expect during this year. I'm getting that this is something that will be very, very helpful for you to know, and it will also be confirmation for some of you about a particular situation where you might be noticing an exception being made to a rule. Now, your inner child wants to let you know that you deserve to be seen, you deserve to be heard, and that it's a large part of your purpose in life to either be seen, to be heard. Maybe some of you are leaders, some of you perhaps are speakers, maybe some of you are teachers, maybe some of you are here to be seen and be heard. Perhaps some of you are in the public eye, or you want to be. Now, I'm getting to tell you that the statistics of this are very, very probable, and your inner child wants to let you know not to forget how intelligent you actually are. Some of you have a very above average IQ. Some of you are very, very intelligent. Some of you are very, intellectually intelligent. Some of you are very emotionally intelligent. Some of you are very spiritually intelligent. Some of you are very physically intelligent, or maybe several of the above. Your inner child wants to remind you who the heck you are when it comes to how smart you are. You can figure anything out and everything out, and you also know that when you are looking at a pattern, there is always a possibility for the pattern to break. Don't forget that in order for patterns to exist, it has to be a finite structure within an infinite structure, meaning that everything that seems like it goes on forever actually has finite things that exist within it. And everything that seems like it might be finite, it might have a close, it might have an end, actually exists within something that is infinite. So, allow yourself not to be surprised when you stumble upon the disruption of a pattern that you think is a rule or a law. Alternatively, don't be surprised when there's something that you expect to not see or not experience that actually you end up experiencing. Because there is an exception to the rule. There is a disruption of a pattern, or a pattern where you're expecting a disruption. Now, with this being the case, your inner child wants to let you know that you don't have to try as hard anymore. It might not always look like this. It might not always feel like this, but you have, your inner child is saying that you have more skill and ability in your pinky finger than they do in their entire body. The difference between you and them is that you have grown up. You know how to navigate life in their perspective. And you still have all of the good traits that they have, except you've matured. You've matured intellectually, you've matured emotionally, you've matured in the ways that you physically navigate life. So your inner child would like to remind you They're saying how much of a badass you can be, and they also want you to give yourself a pat on the back for how far you have come. You shine like a star in the sky, and if you thought you already were, they're saying just wait. Now again, they're saying that they have set something up for you, perhaps a surprise that you might find connected to this exception of a rule. And once more, they're saying that there is something that you predicted for yourself or someone else that has already come true, and you might be waiting for the confirmation. You might be thinking that this is the, I'm hearing the trial round. You know when you teach someone how to play a new card game, and you say, okay, this round doesn't count. We're just making sure that everyone has the rules. You might think that a situation in your life or someone else's is the trial run, and your inner child wants to tell you, no, this is very much the opposite of the case, or at least it can be the opposite of the case, meaning that this can go however you want it to go, but do not expect the rule when you are most likely to run into the exception. Group number 3, some of you might want to check out group number 2, I'm getting, and your inner child wants to let you know, first and foremost, that if you want to keep a documentation of this period in your life, you will not regret it. You will be grateful that you did later. Think about when you went through a really exciting time in your childhood, or you experienced something really cool, really fun, or maybe the first time you went on a vacation, the first time that you aced a test, the first time that you got a job or graduated from school. Say you had written documentation of this. Now, it might not seem like a big deal for a few years, perhaps, but having a documented time capsule of your experience right now is something that your inner child wants you to do. They also want to let you know that the things that are meant for you will come and find you. You don't have to leave your house if you don't want to. You don't have to put yourself out there if you don't want to. Allow yourself to sit, fall back, receive, enjoy. Okay, let's see messages, please, from group number 2's inner child to group number 2. Messages to, group number 3, I'm sorry. Again, you might want to check out group number 2. I don't know why that slipped out. Let's see. Yeah, okay. Now, there's a little bit of worry. You might be going back and forth right now between, oh, I'm worried, oh my god, I got this. You know what, let's just let it go and see what happens. Okay? And your inner child is saying, this is where you're noticing pattern disruption. You're expecting a pattern, you're noticing a disruption. The way that things intellectually have gone is not the way that they always will go. Or, yeah, because you're leading with love, because you set something up in a proper way. You set something up in a proper way, and you might be giving yourself not enough credit. Remember how smart you are. Even when you're not trying, you are doing a better job than you think that you are. Even when you're putting in less effort, even when you feel less organized, even when you feel like it wasn't your best work, it was still amazing. This is what your inner child wants to let you know. There's something here that you feel as though it's time to release. Okay, you might be noticing a particular energy in your life and you are contemplating maybe healing it, working on it. I'm getting to tell you that this is coming up because it's actually transmuting or flipping over. You're expecting one thing, but you're going to be actually experiencing 180 degrees from this, the 8 of Cups to the 6 of Pentacles. You release something or put something out. 6 of Pentacles, it's reciprocity or something flipping over. So what you're noticing is that actually you expect something to be a no and it turns out to be a yes. You expect something to need to be let go and it ends up being permanent. You expect that something here, I'm hearing surprise, surprise. I'm hearing surprise, surprise. I'm also hearing sprinkle, sprinkle. I don't know. Anyway. Group number 3, your inner child wants to let you know, again, how smart you are, how healthy your boundaries are, and not to worry about taking a leap of faith. You are so covered, it's not even funny, because of how much of a stable foundation you do have intellectually. Now, when you fall, the universe will catch you, and so will the people around you that love you. However, if all of these things were not going to come through, you can catch yourself when you fall. Now, you're not going to have to, but your inner child wants to remind you, hello, how smart are you? How educated are you? How many books have you read? How many tools do you have in your belt? This is nothing. I'm hearing the phrase, you eat things like this for breakfast, okay? So, your inner child really wants to give you like a pep talk here, and they also want to encourage you to go with the flow and trust that what they have prepared for you is something that you're going to love. Now, dealing with something that you love might not seem always very rational. It might not seem always very grounded. It might not always seem like it is serving you apart from emotional fulfillment. Now, there is a little bit of an impasse here, but we do have a balance of energies. We have swords and cups. When we have a queen and a king like this, it looks as though these are not two things that necessarily match together, but swords is air, which is masculine, and cups is water, which is feminine. So we actually do have a feminine attribute of a masculine energy and a masculine attribute of a feminine energy. But we also have this alchemization occurring where the feminine turns 100% feminine and the masculine turns 100% masculine. We have this alchemization from, say, if your feminine energy are the top 3 chakras, it would be the right side because the right is the masculine side, but still of the top 3 chakras. Now we have this activation of the left side of the top of the body. And the other way around, the lower 3 chakras, you might have an activation on the left side of your masculine energies. Now you're having an activation of the right side of your masculine energies. And what this is making occur for you is that you're going to notice that you have more faith. You're going to notice that you get more intuitive downloads, and you also have better perspective, a wider perspective. You're also going to notice that you become a better listener. It's easier for you to learn, easier for you to understand truth. And you're also going to notice that it becomes a little bit easier for you to have a bit of a pep in your step, a little bit of confidence. You're also going to notice that you might feel a little more comfortable creating or expressing your sensuality. And you're also going to notice that you're going to be feeling more comfortable providing some sort of stability or security. Now, if this is something that you predicted for yourself or someone else, if there's something like this that you predicted in a situation, so there's you and another energy here. If this is the case, then everything is balanced in its organic, purest form. If this is dealing with you and your own alchemical abilities, you are activating the purity of your energy. You're activating that pure Kundalini structure so that you can have a clear and open channel. Now you might be noticing that your energy has traditionally gone one particular way. Some people, they will do their chakra work from the ground up. Others, they do their chakra work from the crown down. You might be noticing that whatever is your comfort zone, you feel inclined to switch. Not because anything was right or wrong, but simply because if you go from the crown down, you are activating the left side channel of your Kundalini. And if you are going from the ground up, you are activating the right side channel of your Kundalini. Now you're going to notice that you have this 180-degree turn, this alchemization, and this purification around you. Now, your inner child seems like not a know-it-all, but definitely an intellectual. And group number 3, your inner child wants to let you know that, yes, they want you to document what's going on. They want you to write down manifestations like it was your day job right now, because you're going to very easily notice them coming in, and to speak them out loud, even to the people around you. Because you might be surprised that if you say one particular thing, the person that you speak that to, although this might not be your intention, might very well provide you with that exact thing because of the energy switch occurring within you and around you. Now, you're being encouraged to keep your intentions to yourself and then also to treat the situations and people around you like you are speaking with the universe, not that individual. Not like you want something from that individual, not like the situation can serve you if you say your manifestation in front of it, but rather in a way where you are clarifying the purity of what you want in your heart and that truth of that. Because this moves up to your mind. And here we have you opening up heart-mind coherence. There are things that you are not seeing, there are things that you are not hearing, but you are picking up on their energy. You are experiencing them spiritually before they manifest in front of your eyes. This is where we have the energy that your inner child is letting you know. They have helped you manifest something in your life, and you are wondering if it's a trial run, when in reality, it's not. This is what you're not seeing, this is what you're not hearing, because there's an exception to the rule. So expect literally, exactly the unexpected. Your inner child, group number 3, wants to tell you that they want you to stay hydrated. There's something here about them not drinking water or them drinking too much water, or maybe you say, as an example, maybe you used to drink a lot of water all at once when you were little, and then you would go for a run, your stomach would get sloshy, and now maybe you don't drink a lot of water. They would like to tell you, hey, drink a lot of water. Maybe just don't chug it all at once. Alternatively, if you didn't drink a lot of water as a child and you had to kind of get that habit as time goes on, they want to remind you, hey, stay hydrated, stay moisturized, you deserve it, okay? Your inner child also wants to let you know that they are guiding you, and that at this point in time, you are going to feel like the reverberation of the vibration of truth all around you. Your truth and the truth, as you notice them turning into one and the same. Now, this, for some of you, you've had this, like, I'm hearing factory setting for a while, and it might be the very reason why you have not been seeing and hearing certain things in order to confirm a situation around you. However, again, you experiencing this spiritually and experiencing this alchemization, your inner child wants to let you know that you are actually closer than you think, and your intuition is a very powerful tool that can also be used to project into your realities. You've heard your mind creates your realities, but remember, your mind is electric, your heart is magnetic. So when you're in heart-mind coherence and you work on your consciousness, you no longer need to worry about whether or not you're creating the right thing. You no longer need to create your reality, you only need to experience it because the work has been done. Your inner child would like to let you know that they love you very, very much. And I'm hearing the phrase like boyish charm, and that doesn't need to have like a gender association to it, but they're saying something about like a boyish charm or like maybe a little girlish charm. I just heard the phrase boyish charm, I don't know why. There's something here that they want you to keep your eye out for. And there's almost this energy here of you having completed the masculine energy that embraces the femininity, or the feminine energy that embraces the masculinity, so much so that each can return to their natural home and feel secure, nourished, and provided for with the other energy as a default. Meaning, you know that if you fall in the universe, you trust the universe to catch you, you trust your loved ones to catch you, but say all of that went away, you know that you can catch you when you fall. And it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. Your inner child wants you to grow in confidence a little bit more, and they want you to release something that you've been holding on to about the fact that you always have to be the one to do extra work, or the fact that you always have to be the one to sustain a relationship, or the fact that you always have to be the one to clean up. For example, say you work at a job at a retail store or something, and say the people who close, they are kind of lazy, they don't do everything. Now when you open up the store, you don't say anything, you just do the extra work, you're always the one who does it. Or if something has to get done once a week, you're always the one that does it regardless of the day of your shift. You always being the one to pick up the slack or take the responsibility or carry the relationship or work extra hours, you always being the one to blank. This is something that you are being encouraged by your inner child to release. Because now it's time for you to receive. And once more, they're saying, don't believe me? Look at your perfection year in your astrological chart. There seems to be a little bit of stress relating to abundance and following your heart at the same time. Your inner child wants to let you know that the illusion here is that you have to pick one or the other. The truth here, before you realize that, I'm hearing we, like you and your inner child, were manifesting something for you in the present moment. You are already having the gears turn in order to set up a system that would allow yourself to have space for this manifestation in your life. Now, the other thing here is that you're going to be what feels like receiving more than you're giving. And you might feel as though it requires a lot of extra work for you to get to that point. And your inner child is saying, release it. The less you worry about it, the more it will happen. Why? Because you already took care of yourself today. Your inner child is coming through as someone who studied a lot so you could be smart today. Or someone who worked out a lot so you could be in shape today. Or someone who got ahead so that you could be ahead today. And they want to let you know that you can lean on them a little bit because they've already prepared your inner child and the versions of you along the way. You've already prepared yourself for success in these areas of life, in this area of life, even though you might be feeling a little bit like you don't know what to do, like there's something to be done. This is why your inner child is saying, fall back and receive. Because the moment that you stop feeling like you need to be the one to do the thing, you need to be the one to take the extra responsibility, will be the moment that you feel like you're receiving more than you're giving, because you've been giving so much more. And the less that you give, the more you receive, and to you it feels unbalanced. And your inner child wants to let you know that you have a lot to let go of. pertaining to how much you perceive yourself as being required to do. And when you receive from this, when you receive from them, when you receive from versions of you that prepared for your future self today, just as you prepare for your future self in the future, your inner child is saying, I got you. Even if you don't catch yourself when you fall, I will. Even if the universe doesn't catch you when you fall, which will never be the case, I will. Even if your loved ones don't catch you when you fall, I will. Your inner child is saying, trust me, I've already taken care of it. You might be the last one to see it, but that doesn't mean we already set the foundation for you. It is your job right now to shine bright like a star. It is your job right now to be beautiful and receive. It is your job to, I'm hearing, kick your head back, relax, let your hair down, enjoy life, receive, rest, enjoy. This might come as a surprise to you. It might take a little bit of getting used to, but your inner child wants you to know, just as you prepare for your future self today, they've prepared for you. What's coming in your life, what's already in your life, the situation around you that you're seeing or you're supporting or you're engaging with, they already took care of it. It might seem a little backwards. Expect the exception to the rule. Something will occur 180 degrees of what you are expecting it to. So before we go, we're going to pull some advice from your inner child using my mini oracle, which just came out on my Etsy shop this week if you are interested. So let's see, advice please for group number 3 from their inner child. Advice? Whoa, you guys got a lot of cards. Infinity. Okay, you're doing better than you think. And again, we have this infinite and finite duality coming out here. It's reminded me of a mantra. It's called the Infinity Mantra, among many other names, but essentially in yoga, this is a mantra or a phrase that expresses how the finite exists within the infinite, like we were talking about earlier. So some of you might want to check that out if you're unfamiliar with it, if it resonates with you. Others of you who are familiar with it, perhaps add this to your yoga practice if it resonates. Look, trust and follow the plan. The first thing out, your advice from your inner child, I'm getting that they want to spell out a sentence for you. They're showing me reciprocity with the 6 of Pentacles. They're showing me, when I was in kindergarten, we used to have little alphabet blocks, and there would be a picture of an item, and we would use the little alphabet blocks in order to spell the letters of the item. I forgot about that, and they're showing me that that's how they want to lay out the cards. Trust, follow the plan, expect reciprocity, because you're too close to the situation. Trust that everything is worthy of a positive outlook right now, and there's nothing for you to do that has not already been done. You deserve the best, and trust that your innocence can be reciprocated. Trust that the affirmations you've been saying are working. Remove yourself in order to trust yourself. Now, these 2 other cards fell off camera. Gratitude practice and grow like a plant. Okay, so just as a little aside, I'm getting that this is from your higher self, not your inner child, but this is like a growth spurt. So if something's a little uncomfortable, let yourself get used to it, okay? And allow yourself to be grateful, because remember, your innocence can be reciprocated. Your positivity has been what is getting the ball rolling here for you. And trust that, again, I'm hearing, I will catch you if you fall. From your inner child, your higher self, the universe, so on and so forth. Not to mention the fact that you can do it on your own. You're very, very capable and very, very smart. So this is a reminder for you to not only trust in yourself, but trust in the work that you have been doing. Because there's a reason for it, and it's not just to work for work's sake. Although we do hear this quite often in the philosophy of Raja Yoga, for example. But the point here is to trust that you've already prepared the foundation for yourself for this bounty to occur in your life. So allow yourself to receive it, because it is the reward for past action. Your inner child is saying they got you. And they're showing me again that scene from that book that I explained earlier with the soundproofing. You are beautiful just the way you are, especially the way that you are when you think that you're not being perceived. Don't worry about being perceived. Don't worry at all. You've already been caught. You didn't realize you already fell, is what I'm hearing to tell you. I'm also hearing to tell you, I love you. Of course, from me, from your inner child, from your higher self, and just in general, from a piece of the universe to another piece of the universe, me to you. You are loved and I love you. So, that is your channeled message from your inner child, group number 3. I hope this helped shed love, light, and clarity for you. It would mean the absolute world to me if you liked and dropped a comment on this video, and if you subscribe to my channel. It helps me out a lot to continue, oh my gosh, to do what it is that I love to do. And it also helps other people find the messages that are meant to serve them when the timing is right. If you're interested in my Follow Your Heart or my mini oracle decks, as well as my light codes, tarot decks, journals, books, crystals, you can find all of that below on my Etsy shop, as well as if you're interested in personal readings. And I hope you have an amazing rest of your day, week, month, year, and incarnation in this beautiful, magical realm. Thank you for being here, and I will see you next time. Namaste.